Most people can't last 72 hours without sleep. These men go weeks. Most people quit a hard workout after 20 minutes. These men get dropped from training for quitting after 6 days straight of no sleep, freezing cold water, and someone screaming in their face at 3 a.m. The U.S. Navy SEALs, and specifically the shadowy, classified world of their specialized units, are not a job. They are a complete identity. And today, we're going to live every single rank. From the guy who just barely survived Hell Week and has no idea what he's gotten himself into, all the way up to the men who plan the missions that the rest of the world will never hear about. 7 levels. 7 completely different lives. Stay until level 7, because that one will genuinely change how you think about what human beings are capable of. Let's get into it. Level 1, the new guy L. You just graduated BUD/S. People are congratulating you. Your family is crying. You're holding that trident pin, that golden badge that only about 1,000 active duty guys in the entire U.S. military wear at any given time. You feel like a superhero. Then you show up to your first SEAL team. And within the first hour, someone calls you new guy, and that's going to be your name for the next 12 to 18 months. Not your rank, not your name. New guy. At level 1, your job is simple. Shut up, watch everything, do every task that nobody else wants to do, and never complain. You're the first one in the team room in the morning and the last one to leave. You carry the heaviest gear on every training mission. When the team goes out after a deployment, you're designated driver. You pick up the food. You make the coffee runs. It sounds humiliating, but here's what nobody tells you. This period is actually sacred. The guys who come before you went through the exact same thing. And the reason the culture works is because everyone starts at the bottom of the same hole. No exceptions. Not even if you graduated top of your BUD/S class. Tactically, you're absorbing everything. You're learning how your team moves, how they communicate under pressure, how your team leader makes decisions in the field. You're going through additional training, SEER school, free fall jump school, combat diver qualification. You're getting stacked with certifications before you've even set foot in a combat zone. The physical grind never stops. You're still running 6 miles before 6 a.m., still hitting the pool, still lifting. But now there's purpose behind it. You're not training to become a SEAL. You're training to be worth keeping. Your pay? Around $28,000 to $38,000 a year base, plus special duty pay and jump pay, which is honestly laughable for what you're doing, but nobody joined for the salary. Level 1 is about one thing and one thing only, proving you belong here. Level 2, the shooter. Rank. The new guy title is finally gone. Somebody else just showed up and the spotlight moved. Now you're a real, functioning part of the team. And now, for the first time, you get on a plane with your team, fly somewhere you cannot tell your family about, and you do the actual work. Your first deployment hits different than anything BUD/S ever prepared you for. Because BUD/S prepares your body. Combat prepares everything else. At level 2, you're a direct action operator. You're kicking doors at 2 in the morning in complete darkness, using nods, night optical devices, that make the world look like a green fever dream. Your team is moving through a building, clearing rooms in choreographed silence. There's no yelling, no dramatic movie heroics. It's quiet, professional, and fast. The thing that surprises most guys at this level is how calm it all feels. Not because it isn't dangerous, but because the training has been so thorough that your brain doesn't register the fear the way a normal person would. The adrenaline is still there, but it's controlled adrenaline, focused adrenaline. You're also doing sensitive site exploitation, SSE, which means going through captured materials, hard drives, documents, everything an intelligence team needs. You're learning how to be a sniper, a medic, a communications specialist. SEAL teams don't compartmentalize like a regular military unit. Everyone does everything. Between deployments, you're training again. SEAL teams operate on a cycle. Train, deploy, train, deploy. And in that training cycle, you're constantly sharpening skills that most soldiers will never even know exist. The level 2 is the level where you realize this is the best job in the world. Level 3, the veteran operator. Rank, E6 Petty Officer First Class Multi-Tour Combat Veteran. You've been downrange multiple times. You've seen things. Some of them follow you home. At level 3, You're a seasoned operator, probably 4 to 7 years in, 2 or 3 combat deployments under your belt. And this is where the job starts to cost you in ways that nobody in the recruitment brochure mentions. The divorce rate among SEAL operators is extraordinarily high. Not because these guys don't love their families. They do, deeply. But you're gone. You're always gone. And when you come back, you're different. A little quieter. A little harder to reach. Physically, the body is starting to speak up. Knee surgeries. Shoulder problems. Years of jumping out of aircraft, running in full kit, and swimming ocean distances have compounded. Most guys at this level carry injuries the way other people carry car payments, just a constant presence in the background. But operationally, you're at peak effectiveness. You're now mentoring the new guys. You're the muscle memory of the team, the guy the junior operators watch to understand how it's actually done. Your team leader leans on you. Your chief trusts your read on situations. You've earned the authority to speak up in planning briefs, and people listen. You're also starting to think about your future. Maybe Green Team, the assessment and selection pipeline for DevGRU, Naval Special Warfare Development Group, the Tier 1 unit, the place civilians sometimes call SEAL Team 6. Or maybe you're thinking about becoming a chief. Either way, Level 3 is a crossroads. The easy part of this career is officially over. Level 4, the chief. Rank. In the regular Navy, making chief is a ceremony, a tradition, a rite of passage that dates back over 100 years. In the teams, making chief means something different. It means you run things. The chief petty officer in a SEAL platoon is the de facto engine of the entire unit. Technically, an officer is in charge. Practically, the chief makes the machine run. You're managing the logistics, the training schedules, the gear accountability, the morale, and the readiness of your platoon's enlisted guys, all simultaneously. You're the person the junior guys come to when they have a problem they can't bring to the officer. You're the person the officer comes to when they need someone to tell them honestly if a plan makes sense or if it's going to get people killed. That last part is harder than it sounds. Because telling an officer, sometimes one fresh out of a top military academy, full of ambition and good intentions, that their plan needs serious work requires a specific kind of courage. Not physical courage, professional courage. Your days are longer now. The operational responsibilities haven't gotten lighter. You're still going down range, still running and training. But now there's an administrative weight on top of it. Reports, evaluations, personnel issues, budget reviews for team equipment. You're also deeply aware of the weight of leadership. You know these guys' families by name. You know who's struggling. You know who's quietly struggling. And it's your job to catch it before it becomes a catastrophe. Level 4 is where boys become leaders. Real ones. Level 5, the senior chief. There are maybe a few dozen Master Chief SEALs in the entire U.S. military. You are now one of them. At this level, you've been doing this for 15 to 20 plus years. You've survived injuries that would have ended most careers. You've watched younger men you trained, deploy, come home, deploy again. Some of them didn't come home. The weight of that never fully leaves. As a senior or master chief, your role is no longer primarily tactical. It's institutional. You are the keeper of culture. The person who ensures that the standards that made this force what it is don't erode, don't get compromised, don't bend under political or institutional pressure. You advise commanding officers. You advocate for your enlisted force at levels of command they'll never personally access. You are the bridge between the men in the field and the decision-makers who've never been there. Your opinions carry weight that no rank insignia can fully explain. Because everyone in the room knows what you've done to earn your position. Everyone knows the deployments, the ops, the decades of commitment. You also carry something invisible, a form of grief that comes with outlasting so many of your teammates. SEAL teams are a community, and that community has lost people. You've given eulogies. You've helped families rebuild. You carry those names with you always. Level 5 isn't about what you can do anymore. It's about what you've become. Level 7, DevGRU, the Tier 1 operator. Level 7, this is it. This is the deepest level of the rabbit hole. DevGRU, known to the public as SEAL Team 6, is not simply a higher rank. It is a completely different world inside an already rarefied world. To even attempt Green Team, The DevGru selection pipeline. You need to be an experienced SEAL operator with a recommendation from your command. Then you go through months of assessment and selection that sits comfortably among the most difficult military evaluations on the planet. Many experienced, decorated SEALs don't make it. Not because they aren't excellent. Because the bar here is not excellent. The bar here is extraordinary. Operators at DevGru are organized into assault squadrons: gold, red, blue, silver, black. Each squadron is a tight, self-contained strike force with a specific operational focus. They have access to technology, intelligence, and support infrastructure that is simply not available to regular SEAL teams. Their missions are the ones you hear about years later, if you hear about them at all. Hostage rescue, high-value target capture or elimination, operations inside countries that are never officially acknowledged. The tempo is relentless. Multiple deployments per year. Training cycles between deployments that would break a conventional soldier. Physical standards that don't decline with time, they escalate. And here's the part that's hardest to explain to someone on the outside. The men at this level are not the most violent people in the world. They are the most disciplined people in the world. Violence is a tool they use with precision, not enthusiasm. What makes a DevGru operator extraordinary isn't their willingness to go toward danger. It's their ability to think clearly while inside it. But Level 7 is not a job anymore. It's a calling, and the men who reach it have paid for that calling in ways that can't be quantified. They are, without exaggeration, among the most remarkable human beings walking on this earth right now. And that's every level. 7 lives. One extraordinarily demanding path. From the new guy carrying the team's gear and answering to a nickname, all the way to the operators who run the missions that the rest of us will only ever see in a heavily redacted Wikipedia page. Every single level of this life demands something most people aren't willing to give. If this video gave you a new respect for what these men do, drop a like. It takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely means everything for a channel like ours. And if you want more deep dives into the real lives behind America's most elite military units, the stories, the culture, the sacrifices you don't see in the movies, subscribe to Side POV. Hit that bell so you never miss what's next. We'll see you in the next one.